let's get to Oppong Nkrumah's response. He says, on February 9th, 2020, I was invited to Dodowa as a guest. So he didn't organize it. As a guest of honor to a Frimpong, that's Private Newspaper Publishers Association of Ghana. Their event, jointly organized with the Bank of Ghana on financial reporting. This event was not a secret. You see how Frimpong Boateng has been embarrassed. This is total embarrassment for Frimpong because this is a matter of record. The meeting was by Bank of Ghana and Private Newspaper Association of Ghana. And you said Oppong Nkrumah went to Dodowa Forest to put journalists together to bring you down. The so-called Dodowa Forest meeting, out of which somebody called somebody to tell you that you are being attacked, it was Oppong Nkrumah himself was invited to it. Professor Frempong Boateng, this is very embarrassing. Your fourth son is embarrassing you. He's telling you that the thing you said was untrue and you didn't check. So the fourth son, who was 6 years old, when you came to Ghana and Rollins helped you to set up cardiothoracic, he's telling you that you didn't check your facts. Your fourth son, he says, Prof, I'm your fourth son, yes, but you didn't check your facts. How can a Frimpong meeting and Bank of Ghana meeting at Dodowa, a Forest Hotel in Dodowa, now become a Frimpong Boateng agenda? Oppong Nkrumah goes there and, all those things he said. Anyway, all right. It was widely promoted on media platforms and my personal social media handles as well. It was a workshop to train journalists on how to understand and deepen their reportage on financial matters in Ghana. The event had nothing, I would have said absolutely nothing, to do with the fight against GALAMSEY, not even remotely. Professor Frempong Boateng, again, you have been embarrassed by your fourth son. That you, a whole professor, cardiothoracic surgeon, you pride yourself in all these things. Somebody calls somebody to tell you that they are in the Forest Hotel, they are talking about it, you believed it. You couldn't pick a phone to call the minister and say, Minister, I have been told that you are in Dodowa. What is happening there? And you said, oh, Prof, no. Yes, I'm in Dodowa, but it's Bank of Ghana and Frimpong meeting. Why? What are you hearing? They said that somebody has called somebody and said that you are there planning against me. They said, oh, planning against you about what? He said, about GALAMSEY. Say, oh, wow, Prof, this is nothing to do with GALAMSEY. That would have ended the matter. Why Professor Frempong Boateng doesn't do that and he starts writing something when Chief of Staff says, go and bring a report, and giddy, he's writing Dodowa Forest. So he remembered, do you remember the guy who called us from Dodowa? Put it inside, put it in a report. The guy who called us from Dodowa, that, hey, put it inside. Then he's writing things that happened in cabinet when he was present. But Frempong Boateng should have told us. And if he told me, I would have asked that when Oppong Nkrumah said that in cabinet, what did you say? You were sitting there. Now, he publishes a whole report, does not add anything he said. Was he a mumu in the cabinet? I don't understand it. You are sitting in cabinet. Oppong Nkrumah, you claim, is undermining you with a story. And you say nothing. And you come and publish it because Chief of Staff says bring a report. And that the president is not happy with you. Oh, that's not fair. All right, let's move on. He says, as is customary with such events, I was received by organizers and protocol officers openly at the arrival ceremony, ushered into the event hall openly, invited to deliver my remarks openly, and escorted for the group photograph afterwards openly. My exit from the event and the reportage of my remarks were also done openly. Neither the anti-GALAMSEY fight nor Professor Frempong Boateng were matters for consideration at this BOG and Frimpong event. And this is very solidly presented, better than Frimpong Boateng's report. And this is what some people are jumping to, that they have a story. The yellow people in Umofia, this is a story. Frimpong Boateng says the something I don't know is a story. That's what they don't have content, and they are doing yellow work. So that's what they do. They think this is a story. All right. This is the evidence Oppong Nkrumah presents in his rejoinder. So this is Sunday, February 9th. Yesterday, I had the honor of addressing it. So this is Oppong Nkrumah pulling it out of his Twitter in 9th February 2020. He said, yesterday, I had the honor of addressing a training workshop for the editors focusing on economic reporting. I commend Frimpong and Central Bank for taking this initiative to build capacity for our colleagues. On Sunday, our Sunday briefing ended hours ago, highlighting the first government town hall meeting for 2020 in Kumasi with the vice president. Hashtag Memanti. Hashtag Enye. I can't read that one very well, but Memanti, I like it. So this is Oppong Nkrumah Going back to his Twitter, which anyone could have done. In fact, if you go to his Twitter right now, it's there. Going back to his Twitter to show us that this is what happened. And why is Frimpong Boateng saying the things he's saying? Let's move on. He says, as information minister, I sometimes have the unpleasant duty of drawing cabinet's attention to matters of public interest, which negatively affects the image of the administration and the country. The claim that 500 excavators seized by government has supposedly gone missing is a major matter of national interest, and it will therefore have been a dereliction of duty on the part of any information minister to have excluded it from his or her cabinet brief. Viewers, how does this sound? How does this sound? It sounds truthful. It sounds honest. It's clearly well written. The ideas there are believable. But it is true. The claim that 500 excavators are missing is a matter of national interest. So if you are information minister and you are presenting to cabinet, how do you exclude it? And if you are, the Frimpong Boateng says you are against me. Who first came to say that 500 excavators has been missing? Frimpong Boateng. Who came to say that Ekozise's party in Yansika? Frimpong Boateng. So you have said it. And now people are picking on it. And you say they are against me. Information minister is reporting to cabinet. He should... But this is your cabinet. There are high brains there. If Oppong Nkrumah had missed it, Abu Napo would have raised it. Of course. If Oppong Nkrumah has missed it, Napo would have asked him that, hey, minister, now, more 500 excavators, they say, I am their own car. That's what happens in MPP. That's why sometimes I like listening to the argument. It's open. Everybody can talk. I am sure that the Oppong Nkrumah had not said it. Auntie Cecilia Dapa would have said, hey, meba, now excavators be now, I say, I am catch the president, I need their own car. He would have been obliged to add it. Why Frimpong Boateng sat in the cabinet and believed that that matter should not come up? I don't even understand it. Is he for the government or against the government? This is a matter of high public interest. 500 excavators have been missing. You don't want the information minister to tell the cabinet that this is a media story that's doing the rounds that we should look at. You don't want him to. He says it's against me. Oh, please. Anyway, so let's move on and see. How does that, he's asking the question, how does that constitute an attempt to bring down the minister responsible for the schedule? It's incredulous, he says. If the Ghanaian media reported that the chair of the anti-GALAMSEY committee had filed a police report and later explained in interviews that 500 excavators seized by government had gone missing, no information minister worth his or her salt will hide it from cabinet. That's the point I'm making. To perform my duty of briefing cabinet on media reports cannot be a sinister act against another minister. If the president needs to be briefed in cabinet on a matter by a minister, it is done in the open, without malice, fear, or favor. It will rather have been sinister to do so surreptitiously. Correct. I regret to say that Professor Frempong Boateng's fourth son is sounding better than him. The fourth son. It's true, the Bible says the glory of the latter day shall be more than the former. But that's scripture should be told to the older politicians. Their responsibility is to bring up the young people and encourage them. It's not to put them down and tell them you have presidential ambition, so go here, that. Both NDC and MPP. I don't think Alhaji Hudu would do this to Felix Ofosu Kwakye or Manibo Ama or something. Alhaji Hudu will not do that. So older people in the party, because the Bible says the glory of the latter day shall be more than the former, it is in their interest to bring up the young people. Not to derogate them that when I came to do cardiothoracic US, 4 years old. So what? When Adam was there, were we all there? When Kwame Nkrumah was declaring independence, were we there? Don't we criticize Nkrumah today that I have been criticizing him for the longest time. And it is there. You can criticize. It's there. It makes sense. Why does he have to pass a Preventive Detention Act? So Nkrumah will say that you were not even born when I was Prime Minister of Ghana. You can't talk about. Is that how we build a country? No. Prof. Please, no. The reasons for the MPP's performance in the 2020 elections were researched by a high-level party committee and well documented both in the party's report and by commentators and analysts. Since the conclusions of the party's inquiry, various party leaders have publicly explained the party's understanding of his performance. You see the way he chooses his words. I just like Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. You see the way he chooses his words. He said, various party leaders have publicly explained the party's understanding of his performance. This is a loaded statement. The party's understanding of his performance is loaded. But that's how you communicate formally. That's how we've all been taught to do. So when Frimpong Boateng starts writing this, he has presidential ambition. When I came, he was 4 years old. We don't understand that. A minister? Oh, okay. To frame the matters as though I, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, am responsible for the party's findings, and therefore I'm also responsible for an effort to blame Professor Frempong Boateng for the party's fortunes, is in all humility illogical. Correct. It's illogical. Over the past years, I had nothing but great admiration for Professor Frempong Boateng's public-spirited works and as an inspirational citizen. Correct. We all do. I feel gravely offended over the false claims he has made and the hurtful conclusions he has sought to exact about me, precisely because of the great esteem in which I have held him. I trust that in the coming months and years, he will reflect deeply upon his own actions and comments which have led to his challenges. He should kindly leave me out of his personal fights. I am utterly disappointed, but I forgive him. Okay, that's where it ends. Very interesting. Tonight we need more time, please. Production people, tell MCR we need at least 20 more minutes. All right, it's past 10:30 now. We are done with the Oppong Nkrumah episode, aren't we? No, Frimpong Boateng came back. This is what he said. He said, I have read your response to what I wrote about you in the report I sent to the Chief of Staff a little over 2 years ago. You have denied what I wrote, and that is normal. Very few people in your position will own up to their wrongdoings. Now, what does this mean? Professor Frimpong Boateng, what does this mean? He said he has, what does Kojo Oppong Nkrumah deny? He denied the Dodowa thing. Evidence is abundant. Bank of Ghana is a state institution. Brain Park is a private institution, but it's important. It's there. You can talk to them. That's what he's denying, that he went there to do that work. And as a professor, you can't respond to that. You say that he's denying wrongdoing. What is wrongdoing? I don't understand it. You said the man went to Dodowa Forest Hotel. He says, yes, I did. But this is the reason why I went there. It's public. It's a matter of public record. And then you come back and say, you are denying wrongdoing. It's so pedestrian, Prof. I'm sorry. It's pedestrian. Very, very sorry to say this. Anyway. He says, I have good advice for you. Though, when I was part of the government, we were colleagues and I related to you as such. Now, I will advise you as my son, just as I do my children. After all, you are the same age as my fourth-born son. When I returned to Ghana from Germany to start the cardiothoracic project, you were just 6 years old. As my fourth child, I will not lie to you or insult you or be harsh to you. My advice is, always remember that political power is both short-lived and effervescent. In about 2 years' time, you may no longer be in government. So what? And you may experience the real world as former high-profile political power holders do. This is very sad. Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, we all know him. He was not one of those who went from school to politics. No, he's not. He's not Samuel Kujeto and others. He didn't go from school to politics. From school, he came down to achieve something. We all know what he did. So if you say that he's getting out of power, you go back to do what he was doing. There are some people, when they're out of power, they have nothing to do. It is them that you have to tell them this. But the other people, they have other things to do. Okay. I will urge you to do your work diligently and avoid the coded and evil tactics that Mr. Adom-Otchere boastfully. Prof, please, my name is Otchere. If I'm the one you are referring to, then you got the spelling of my name wrong. My late father will not be happy with you. His name is Otchere, and there's a dash between Adom and Otchere. I'm the only Adom-Otchere in the world. Please. I'm the only, even my father was not. My father was not hyphenated. He was, whether he was lieutenant, captain, lieutenant, colonel, he was, that's Paul. He actually called himself P.A. Otchere. That's how the soldiers, they always do it. So I'm the only Adom-Otchere hyphenated in the world. Prof, don't do that again, otherwise I'll be angry. My name is Otchere. Don't write it like this again. This is the other one. This is the way the Achin people write it. Me, I'm not Achin, please. I will urge you to do your work diligently and avoid the coded and evil tactics Mr. Adom-Otchere boastfully and unashamedly told the world on Good Evening Ghana that you employ to I don't even want to respond to this. This one I won't say anything. But just to remind you, Prof, that my name is Otchere. Okay? Prof, keep watching. Don't stop watching. We are on it. Let me touch briefly on illegal mining. He said, last week, Someone from your constituency sent me a video recording of illegal mining activities close to your hometown. I don't want to believe that what the person said about your role is true. The important thing is that Chinese and their Ghanaian collaborators are engaged in illegal mining at your doorstep. Oh, Prof. I encourage you to investigate it and take appropriate action. The President of the Republic assures Ghanaians again and again that he is serious with the fight against illegal mining. As you well know, illegal mining does not only refer to non-possession of a concession, blah, blah, blah. Mining close to water bodies, okay. Non-reclaimer, okay. It says, Prof. Dr. Med Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, cardiothoracic surgeon of the world. You have to add that, okay. All right. Now, this is what he said. Mr. Oppong Nkrumah came back to explain that this so-called Galamsey he's talking about is not even in his constituency. He said that it's at the Pra River. And at the Pra River, he, Oppong Nkrumah, not recently, wrote to Minister of Lands, Abu Jinapo. Thank you for this set, Kweku. He wrote to Abu Jinapo and wrote to Dominic Nitiwul, my good friend, complaining about the activities of these people at the Pra River, which is a border of his constituency. He says there's absolutely no Galamsey in his constituency at all, of course, but there's some Galamsey at the Pra River, which we all know about, don't we? And he had written to Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo and Defense Minister Nitiwul about that matter. Okay, let's see the letters he wrote, and then we'll end on this one. We go to Kweku Baako and Adom-Otchere Daako.